Aleph Aleph.
Okay, Aleph Aleph. From when do we mention the powers of rain? When Rebbe Eliezer says from the first Yom Tov of the festival. Rabbi Yehuda says from the last Yom Tov of the festival. Rabbi Yehuda said to him, since rain is but a symptom of curse during the festival, why mention it? Rabbi Eliezer replied to him, I too did not say to request rain, but merely to mention it. It causes the wind to blow and the rain to fall in its proper season. He responded, if so, one should always mention the powers of rain. We do not request rain except close to the rainy season. Rabbi Yehuda says, of those chazanim who stand before the ark on the last Yom Tov of the festival, the last cousin mentions the powers of rain, but the first cousin does not mention it. On the first Yom Tov of Pesach, the first cousin mentions the power of rain, but the last cousin does not mention it. But when do we repeat rain? When Yehuda says until Pesach is over. Rabbi Meir says until Nisan is over, as it is said, he caused the rain to fall for you, the early rain and the late rain in the first month.
Okay.
On the,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. Also Gimel. Sorry.
Okay. On the third day of Ma'akeshvan, we request rain. Rabbi Gamil says on the seventh day, 15 days after the festival, so that the last pilgrim straggler of Israel may reach the Euphrates River. Okay. On
Okay.
I thought we had one more, but I thought we still had to do Dalit, but okay.
Aleph Beis Gimel. We started with Aleph.
Okay.
Aleph Beis Gimel. Okay.
Okay.
Higia Shiva Asar B'Mar Cheshvan. Now comes the story of where things go wrong. And the rain doesn't come in its expected time. Baruch Hashem, this year we've had some great rains. We see the forecast is for some more good rains. We should always have good rains, but the Mishnah talks about what happens when you don't get the rain in its time. Higia Shiva Asar b'Mar Cheshvan. So now 10 days have passed since you started davening for rain. V'lo yadu geshamim. Yischilu hayechidim misanim shalosh tanios. So now the leaders of the community start with some private fasts of their own. Okay, they're expected to take this on themselves because as the leaders of the community, that's part of their job. And they start with three fasts again, which will be on the first Monday, then Thursday, then Monday. So why Monday, Thursday, Monday? Because when Moshe Rabbeinu went up to receive the luchos, he went up on Monday. Um, the second luchos we talk about specifically, I think, is the Rosh Chodesh Elul of the of after the Egel was on a Thursday, I think, and then Yom Kippur was on a Monday. And those were days of Ratzon from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And since then, Monday and Thursday were considered special days of heavenly favor, and which is why also we have the laning on Monday and Thursdays.
There must be Bahab also, Monday,
That's right. So
Thursday.
this is Bahab. This is
Right.
basically a precursor to Bahab. Is that the fast will be on Monday, Thursday, Monday. Ochlin v'shosin mishachashecha. It's only a 12-hour fast, only from well, not even 12 hours because now we're talking about winter. So so it's from sunrise to from well, or at least from daybreak until tzais. And mutarin b'melacha. They're allowed to go about their regular work. Uberachitza, uvesicha, v'nilas asandal, v'tashmish hamisa. So there are no other restrictions. Just eating and drinking is restricted for, and this is only again for the Yechidim. Mishnah, hey, Higia Rosh Chodesh Kislev. Now, it's now been another 2 weeks, and there's still been no rain. Lo yadu geshamim beis din gozrin shalosh tanios ala tzibor. Now it's time for the tzibor to start getting involved in the fasting. Well, again, bahab. There'll be some bahab fasts over there, and ochlin v'shosin mishachashecha, the same as the previous Mishnah, except now it's on the whole tzibur. You're allowed it's only a day fast, right? Not by night. So all the other restrictions that you might have on like a Yom Kippur of washing and anointing, marital relations, wearing shoes, all of these things are permitted on these first three fasts. But things get more serious in Mishnah Vav. If all of these days have passed, and there's still been no rain. We're talking now in Kislev. We're talking about now the middle of Kislev, and there's still been no rain. Based in Gozrin Shalosh Tanios Acheros ala Tzibor. So now we have some three more fasts on the Tzibor, which are more severe. Ochlin v'shosin mi be'od yom. So now they're 24-hour fasts.
Right.
Okay. V'asurin b'melacha u'berchitza u'sicha v'nilas asanda u'v'tashmish amita. And they have the same other inuyim as a Tisha B'Av, that there's no, you don't wear shoes, you don't anoint, you don't wash, you don't have marital relations, and and they even lock the bathhouses to enforce this on the tzibur. Now what happens? So now we've had the three minor ones, some three big fasts, and if we still go down the unhappy path of no rain, Avru Eli v'lo nanu based in Gozin Aleim od Sheva. So then there are another seven fasts that will be decreed on the tzibur if things still don't go well. Shehen shlosh esrei tanios ala tzibur. So this is a total of 13 fasts that would be decreed on the Tibur for the lack of rain. So these seven are even more severe than the three that came before them. We also blow the chatzotros, and we lock up the shops so that people don't go shopping on these days even.
This is like having a Yom Kippur. It's like a Yom Kippur fast.
Yes,
This one,
full
like
on,
Yom
full,
Kippur.
full on like
Right.
Yom Kippur. Yeah, I mean more like Tisha B'Av than Yom Kippur, because Yom Kippur at least is a happy it's
All
a Yom
right.
Tov. This
Right.
is okay. B'sheni matin im chashecha uh, on the Monday fasts. They would open the shops only when it got dark. ובחמישי מותרן מפני כבוד השבס. But when on Thursday they would open the shops because people still need to go and buy their needs for Shabbos. Okay, and that's where we end for today's story. Um,
Okay.
Okay, and yeah, we will go into further detail about these tinios, and this is really the reason why this is called Maseches Taanis, is because of the fasts that people are going through because of rain, lack of rain, and other tsaros of the tzibur. Okay, back
But
to
they don't do that anymore. They have a hab, but they don't do the whole thing with
No, and Bahab is not for that reason.
uh,
Bahab is a fast for people who fear that there was too much levity during the Yom Tovim of Sukkot and Pesach. So in the following month they'll fast on the first Monday, Thursday, Monday as an atonement for if they went over the line.
right. Right. Okay, we have base love and Rosh Hashanah. How do they interrogate the witnesses? The pair that arrives first is to interrogate it first, and the elder is brought in, and they say to him, "Tell us how you saw the moon, facing the sun or away from the sun, to the north, to the south. How high was it, and which way was it leaning, and how wide was it?" If he said facing the sun, he said nothing. They would have the second witness brought in to interrogate him. If the words are found to coincide, the memory, the testimony is valid. And they asked the rest of the pairs of witnesses only the main points, not that they needed them, but so that they should not leave disappointed, in order that they should be accustomed to come. The head of the basin says, "It is sanctified," and all the people respond after him, "It is sanctified, it is sanctified." Whether it appeared at its expected time or whether it did not appear at its expected time, they sanctify the day. Rabbi Elazar ben Zadok says, if he did not appear at its expected time, they did not sanctify, for it was already been sanctified by heaven. Rabbi Gamliel has moon-shaped forms on a tablet on the wall in his upper chamber, which he would show the simple folk and say to them, "Did you see the moon like this or like that?" It happened that two witnesses came and said, "We saw it in the morning and in the east and in the evening in the west." Rabbi Yochanan Nori said, "They are false witnesses," but when they came to Yavna, Rabbi Gamliel accepted them. On another occasion, two witnesses came and said, "We saw it as an expected time, but on the night of the added day, it did not appear," and Rabbi Gamliel accepted them. Joseph ben Harkness said, "If they are false witnesses, how can they testify that woman gave birth, and the next day her belly is between her teeth?" Rabbi Yeshua said to him, "I agree with your argument."
Okay. Sukkah. Base tests.
So, okay. Base test. All the 7 days a man must make his sukkah his permanent abode and his house his temporary abode. If it rain, when it is permissible to leave, when the porridge becomes spoiled. They illustrated this with a parable. To what is this comparable? To a slave who came to pour a cup for his master, and he poured the jug at his face. A soul of lulav is a dry one is invalid. One from an asherah or from a city that was led astray is invalid. If the top is broken off or its leaves severed, it's invalid. And if its leaves spread apart, it is valid. Rabbi Yehuda says he should tie them together at the top. The thorn palms of the Iron Mountain are valid, and a lulav that is 3 handbreadths long enough to wave, is valid. A stolen myrtle twig or a dry one is invalid. One from an asherah or one from a city that was led astray is invalid. And if its top was broken off or its leaves were severed, its berries outnumbered its leaves, it is invalid. If he decreased them, it is invalid, but we not decrease them on Yom Tov.
Okay.
Here we go. On to everything. Okay, everything. Vav Gimel. The residents of a courtyard, one of whom forgot to participate in the error of his house, is marked with regard to carrying in and carrying out to him and to them, but theirs are permitted to him and to them. If they succeeded their rights to him, he is permitted, but if they are restricted. If there were two, they restrict each other because an individual can cede rights and acquire rights. Two can cede rights and cannot acquire rights. When may rights be ceded? Beit Shammai says while it is yet day, but Hillel says when it is dark. One who ceded his rights then carried out, whether unintentionally or deliberately, restricts, and these are the words of Reb Meir. Rabbi Yehuda says deliberately he restricts, unintentionally he does not restrict. If a householder was a partner with neighbors with this one in wine and with that one in wine, they need not make an eruv. With this one in wine and that one in oil, they must make an eruv. Rabbi Shimon says in either case, they need not make an eruv. Okay.
Right. Demai.
Okay. Base olive. And these are the items liable to tithing as the mai. Everywhere press figs, dates, carobs, rice, and cumin. Whoever uses rice from outside Eretz Yisrael is exempt. Whoever undertakes to become trustworthy must tithe what he eats, what he sells, and what he buys. He may not be the guest of an Am Arts. The Yehuda says even one who is a guest of an Am Arts is considered trustworthy. They said to him, he's not trusted regarding himself. How can he be trusted regarding what belongs to others? Whoever undertakes to become a chaver may not sell to an Am Arts anything moist or dry, nor may he buy from him anything moist, and he may not be the guest of an Am Arts, nor may he receive him as a guest in his garments. Rabbi Yehuda says, nor may he breed small cattle, or be prone to making vows or jesting, not may he defile himself by the dead, but he ministers in the house of study, and they said to him, these do not come within the principle.
Okay. Caleb.
Okay, hey Yud. If one cut the oven into segments and placed sand between the segments, Eliezer rules the tower, but it can come and rule the tome. This is the oven or the coiled serpent. Arabian cauldrons that one digs in the ground and plasters with clay. If the clay can stand on its own, it is tome, but if not, it is tahor. And this is the oven of the dina, ben dina. The oven of stone or metal is tahor, but the metal oven is tame as a metal utensil. If it developed a hole, it became damaged or cracked, and one made a clay coating for it or a supplement of clay, it is tame. How large must the hole be? Large enough for the flame to pass through, and the same applies to a stove. The stove of stone of metal is tahor, but the metal stove is tame as a metal utensil. If it developed a hole, it became damaged or cracked, and one made feet for it, it is tame. If one plastered it with clay, whether on the inside or the outside, it is tahor. Rabbi Yehuda says on the inside is tame, but on the outside is tahor. If one assembled 3 feet upon the ground and joined them with clay so that he could set the pot upon them, this makes the stove tame. If one affixed 3 nails into the ground so that he could set the pot on top of it, even though he fashioned a place at the top of his makeshift stove for the pot to rest, it is tahor. If one made 2 stones into a stove and joined them with clay, it is tame, and Rabbi Yehuda rules it tahor until he makes a 3rd stone and places the stove near the wall. Okay.
There's one more sentence.
Right. If one stone was joined with clay and one was not joined with clay, it is tahor. And we have Masa Basra. Okay. We have Hey Bait. If one sells a donkey who has not sold its equipment, Reb Nachman the says he has sold its equipment. Rabbi Yehuda says sometimes they are sold and sometimes they are not sold. How so? If the donkey was in front of him and his equipment was on it, and he said to him, "Sell me this donkey of yours," his equipment is sold. But if he said, "This is your donkey," his equipment is not sold. Who sells a donkey who has sold a foal? If he sold a cow, he has not sold its calf. If he sold a dung heap, he's not sold, he has sold its manure. If he has sold a pit, he has sold its water. If he sold the beehive, he has sold the bees. If he sold the dovecote, he has sold the doves. The one who buys a production of a dovecote from another must allow the first birds to fly. If he bought the production of beehive, he takes the three swarms, and then alternates. If he bought honeycombs, he must leave two combs. If he bought olive trees to cut, he must leave two branches. One who buys two trees in the field of another has not acquired any land. Rameir says he has acquired land. If they grew, they may not trim them. Whatever grows from the trunk belongs to him, from the roots to the owner of the land, and if they died, the land is not his. If he bought three, he has acquired land. If they grew, they may trim them. Whatever grows from the trunk and the roots belong to him, and if they died, the land is his.
Okay. And we're done.
Great.
All righty. Have a lovely day.
Great day. Enjoy. It's beautiful outside.
Yeah.
It's really, really. Did you run? Did you run today?
No, not yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.